Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to everyone. I am so excited you're here. Um, this has been such a rich extravaganza so far. I am so grateful for all of you. And I hope if you've not been able to yet, please definitely go back and check the replays of anyone that you've not been able to listen to. They are so rich. I am just constantly blown away by the wisdom that is being shared, and the one-liners. Are so many good quotes and takeaways. So you can find all those replays inside our Facebook group under the guides section. Today, I'm so excited to introduce you to our latest speaker, Jenny Cohen, who is just a radiant joy. She's joy embodied, joy persona, and you would never guess by her joy that she's also been through hard times too. And this is why I find people so fascinating, is we can assume so much about a person from just their appearance or just their energy or just their personality. And we are all very, very complex individuals. We all have huge journeys we go through. And so what Jenny is bringing today about talking about movement and healing and growing is born from a place of lived experience, right? Is born from her own embodiment, her own healing, her own growth, her own transformation. I'm so excited for you, Jenny, to be able to share your wisdom with all of us. Hello, Shelly McLeod in the Facebook group. And as you present, Jenny, if I see chats coming up or questions or comments coming up in the Facebook group, I will read them to you. I'm going to make you co-host now because I know you want to share music. I'm going to ask, though, since you are going to become the host, please keep an eye on if anyone tries to get in the group, because you'll need to let them in, because I won't be able to do that since I'm switching hosting abilities. Hello, Austin. Okay, I'm going to hand the mic over to Jenny. Please introduce yourself and go ahead and dive right in.
Hello, hello. Thank you, Nicole, for this amazing opportunity to meet everybody. I am Jenny C. Cohen, and I am your Outside In Mastery guide. So what you do with me is we start with dance that helps your subconscious, your steering wheel, what keeps you safe up until today. We bring that into play so that we can make some changes that are keeping you from thriving and being at your maximum. All right, so here's the thing. I wanted to show you something. This is called the hero's journey. It might be backwards for you, but I want you to look this up on the internet later. We talk about the hero's journey, and it's reflected in even amazing shows like Star Wars. Look, I'm wearing a Baby Yoda shirt. Why Baby Yoda? I was super excited when Baby Yoda was revealed to be 50, and he was still a baby. In my heart, though, Baby Yoda will be female. We won't argue that because I needed to see myself in Yoda. Yeah. So all of us are on your own individual hero's journey. And I want to explain something about that. We start from something where we don't know where we're going, and then something present a mini challenge, and we're not quite sure what does that mean, right? And in terms of, oh, hello, I'm gonna just spotlight myself so we stay here, and then I'll bring back Nicole. So the goal of being aware of this hero's journey, where we're making this, we're presented with a challenge, and then how do you resolve that? And then that brings you to another level. And then how do you resolve that? And then ultimately you kind of end up releasing old patterns, kind of like Luke Skywalker realizing that he could be a hero figure when before he said no many times. Here's a secret. This is Jenny's twist on this. You can also find this reflected in this book called Shero's Journey. Okay, so in every aspect of your life, you're going through a hero's journey. What? Yes. So in your personal life, meaning relationships, friendships, self-care, self-knowledge, you could be at a different place on this hero's journey than maybe your career and your business. So for example, right, some of us are very successful in business. Sorry, my cat has decided right now to be stepping on my rumply bags in that corner over there. Oh, I love my 12 cats. So anyways, and at the same time, you can feel really lonely, have no special other, and be searching and not sure why you're so successful on the exterior, and on the interior, you can't find connection. Yeah. So I want to acknowledge that first. So when I speak to you about where you're at, some of the stories I share with you may resonate And some of them may be stories you've already conquered in your life. Does that make sense? Everyone type a yes in the chat here or in the chat in the Facebook group, okay? Anywhere else that you're streaming, we'll go back and look to make sure. Yeah, because I want to make sure I follow up with everybody who's willing to be a part of it by typing into the chat. So type a one if that is understanding. Yes, good. Now, second thing, I am on the outside. You're like, okay, so now you know. Jenny does outside in. Jenny's 55. What? Yes, I am 55. Jenny likes Baby Yoda, right? I am a mom. And being a mom means I have these precious, precious babies. And they are the epitome of miracles in my life. And these miracles were the center of my universe. When I got diagnosed with breast cancer, I was actually relieved because I thought, well, I'll take one for the team. We had had a lot of things happen to my children before they got to the point where I got breast cancer, and I just didn't want something else to be put on their plate. Because you know how you're like in life, like, oh, something else is gonna hit, the other shoe's gonna drop. And I was actually relieved when I got breast cancer. Can you believe that? I know, right? And I'm like, I can handle it. It's fine as long as it's not my child going through type 1 diabetes or my child going through depression or my husband having to have emergency abdominal surgery that, you know, we thought he was going to not make it through the surgery, right? So I was quite relieved when I got the breast cancer and I thought I can handle this. I had my dance at the time. And what I did not realize is that after the 18 months of treatment, I had started to turn my dance into a way to run away from my everyday life. Because here's the secret. Before the breast cancer, I had a lot of trauma I hadn't resolved. So on the surface, Jenny looked like, wow, she's a warrior. She's fighting her cancer. She's still dancing. She's performing. She's competing. On the inside, I was breaking apart because all of those layers of protection I had set up were crumbling. They were crumbling, and I had no way of making it possible for me. Nicole's like, thank you for your transparency. I have to be honest, right? I had no way of getting through the treatment, first of all, in reality, because chemo is a downer. So I won't go into the details. You can read about it in my book, Outside in Recovery. It's a bummer. And I had to escape out of my body. And when I did that, I never came back, right? So ultimately, at the end of the breast cancer treatment, I was no longer really here. I just on the outside looked like I was here. And what happened after that was my twins, who are my precious miracles, in vitro fertilization, like little test tube babies. I have them has pictures of them has 8-cell organisms. No, forget about the naked baby butt pictures. I have them in a petri dish as like 8-cell organisms. Anywho, I know. I love my children so much. They were miracles. I was missing all the signs of one of my kids, who was 14 at the time, going into distress. I missed everything. I missed when they stopped talking to me. I missed when they started doing that perfect face where you pretend everything's okay, but inside you're slowly basically making plans to not be on this earth anymore. I missed all those signs. And I still remember the Mother's Day weekend when they asked to speak to me. And I was like, what's going on? You're going to tell me how much you're loving this trip back to Boston to meet with your homeschooling friends? And instead, they showed me the scars that were hidden under their clothing. Not just one deep one that was groved in and in because they were just trying to numb their own pain. I missed all those signs. Here's the thing. I snapped into clinical mode. I was an occupational therapist. I got this handled. Set up therapy, locked up the knives, thought they were fine, and I still went back to my dance. 2 weeks later, when we got home, my precious miracle had a relapse. And waited until I went to a dance event, waited for their twin to go to sleep, their dad to fall asleep, locked themselves up in the bathroom with a fish fillet knife I had missed. And as I got home, and I'm bawling, staring at this child, looking at me with stranger's eyes, butterfly taping close their wounds, I was like, oh, I'm gonna lose my baby. I am gonna lose this miracle that was gifted to me by the universe. They chose me to be their mother, and I'm missing this opportunity. And I know because I did rotation in pediatrics as an occupational therapist, and I knew that that setting wasn't going, my child wasn't going to make it. So that moment with the universe, you can call God, source, just grabbed me by my shoulders and shook me and said, stop running. And that was the beginning of me starting to be present. All right. And I'm asking you, if you're hearing this story and you're feeling it, something, this is a sign through me. I have nothing to do with this. It's just asking you to be present right now. All right. How do we do that? Because oftentimes when we're present in recovery, we start to feel feelings we've been hiding away. Who wants to deal with those feelings? Right? And here's the thing, if you sit still in safe settings like this, and with Nicole and every one of our amazing speakers in this amazing event, these are opportunities for you to get present and figure out instinctively, intuitively inside you, what do you really need? And by this ripple effect, what is your direct community need? So I'm asking you right now, be with me right now. You're going to take a breath in for me. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. And you're going to exhale, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Keep doing that normal, relaxed breath. You're going to tune into the sense of smell. I always have Earl Grey tea. It's right down below me right there. And I want you to smell your favorite smell and start to taste your favorite taste. And now I'm gonna play a little low. It's like bebop music, because for some of us it's late. And what you're going to do is tune into that sound. I think you can hear it now, right? Yes. Oh, she's dancing. And then feel your butt cheeks in your seat. All right, and feeling that, take your gaze up above where you're seeing me and my bright light. And soften the eye gaze all around you. Again, smell, taste my music, your butt cheek in the seat. Feel the clothing on your body, whatever you're wearing. Yeah, I'm wearing a Baby Yoda shirt. If you're in your undies, feel the undies on your body. Soften your gaze all around. Good. Now let your clothing and your seat and your feet, the floor your feet are on, let them feel you. Awesome. Good. Sway to the right. Sway to the right. To the left. To the right. To the left. Good. Now in this movement, you can go on your own variations. I will ask you to be steady on this beat, or you can be fast, 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 or you can even be slower, whatever your body wants, right? Because we're streaming in a couple of different locations and there's a little delay. So just keep tuning into your breath. Good. 4, 3, 2, 1. Yes. Now, here's the thing, folks. The movement wasn't enough. All right? Because once you get here, we will oftentimes start to release emotions, and doubts will come out. Even memories of traumatic events will come out from movement. So when we start to connect the somatic bridge, meaning mind and body, right? Even stretching classes that I have that I'm going to gift you with at the end of the session. So stay with me, okay? You're going to release emotions, and I want to ask that when you do it, make sure you have a backup of how to process. 2 things you can do for processing. 1, journal how you feel before, do the class link I'm going to tell you, and then do the journal after. Yeah, that's important because you want to process what you're feeling. Oftentimes your body and even your subconscious will tell you things you need the answer to through the movement married with the journaling. Oftentimes, journaling is another way for you to speak with your subconscious. Therapists have ways of asking you, I mean, coaches do too. I do this with my clients. If your dominant hand is left-handed, you write your question in your left hand. Then you answer it in your non-dominant hand. You would answer with your right hand. Yeah. Now I'm kind of messed up because I was supposed to be naturally left-handed and my parents forced me to be right-handed because in my particular region and culture, it wasn't lucky to be left-handed. So sometimes I will write my answers in my left hand and answer in my right hand just to see which part of me is speaking, the part before I was made right-handed or the part that was after, because you have memory stored in all those different parts of you. Okay, so be clear on what part you're asking. All right, now back to the subconscious. I have a favorite saying by Carl Jung. Let me see if I can do it justice. Until you make your unconscious conscious, life will happen to you and you will call it fate. Every time I say that gives me chills because here's the thing. I used to say, wow, my community doesn't appreciate me. I'm never given a seat at the table. I'm just expected to serve. All right. So in reality, that's all I expected. In full life, that's what I would think I was seeing, right? And in my healing, I have discovered that part of that is actually my own belief system and then my subconscious making it so. So let's reset that. All my life, since I was a baby, I lived with a script. I am not safe unless I serve. That is the lens that I've lived my life, and I wasn't even aware of it. Do you think you have a script or a lens you're looking through? Make a note to yourself. What pops up immediately when I ask that question of you? Oh, yeah, it's okay. It's a safe. You don't have to tell us. Just I want you to bring it up to your forefront. As you're moving and dancing and dare I say playing, because that's not usually allowed for adults, right? Playing without this end range and goal of someone winning. Just everyone playing, right? We need to do that more. As you do that, you're priming your subconscious so you can rewrite what you really want in your life. Sometimes you gotta remember, you want to find those scripts that your subconscious is hiding, keeping you safe. Right? So that subconscious work really needs to be done. You want to make sure you do it with someone who's really, really safe, can hold that container for you. Why? I would take dance classes with instructors that weren't ready there in their growth, and they wouldn't know what to do with my feelings. Those situations where like, well, why are you putting on me your whatever feelings? It could be you or the other person giving it that you're giving it to, right? Just be aware of that. I think, Nicole, what I'm gonna do is I have a recording of a how to be trauma aware going into a dance space. I'm gonna give to this community. Okay, so I'm gonna pull and give to you guys because I think that's important. No one told me, right? If you find a first person, they have to be really centered to keep you safe as you're finding yourself. It's like that whole matriarch, patriarch, the safe kind that we didn't have growing up, right? Some of us were lucky. So you can be part of leading the charge and helping us find. Most of us are not. We're not that lucky. We didn't have grown-ups that were so in their bodies they could safely provide places for us to grow. Yeah, right? But you know what? You're lucky. You found Nicole. You're here. That's what's important. So I talked about playing through movement and dance. I centered you through the 5 senses, right? And then I've asked you to be aware that there is a subconscious script playing amongst all of it. Now, how do we master that? Because I talk about outside in mastery. What does that mean? Okay, you ever heard the story of the cabbage? Anyone know? No? No? All right, let me tell you. So my parents are farmers. Both my parents came from farms. So like Taiwan's a bean, right? And Taipei's on the very northern tip. The middle part of Taiwan is where my mother came from, and the most southern tip, the most rural country part of Taiwan is where my dad came from, right? And they were farmers, and farmers are like, they don't eat what they don't grow, right? And you would think that I came from that. I could grow, no, I pretty much, any plant gifted to me is guaranteed to go on to the next plane. I'm sorry. Either way, I love the story about cabbages. When you plant a cabbage a certain distance apart from other cabbages, because you think, oh, well, I want to give it a chance to grow, they actually grow really small and tight. The secret to big, giant, full cabbages is to actually grow them closer. So if you grow cabbages closer, they actually not only grow big, they open into giant cabbages. So don't you want to be one of the cabbages in Nicole's and my garden? What does that say? It means you have to grow in community. That's how you heal. I really used to think I wanted to be like the monks up in the mountains, where you can find yourself. I did that all my life when I was a child. I was alone even with strangers and family, okay? And yes, there's times you need to do that. When you're doing active recovery and growth and finding yourself, you need a safe community to catch you when you're falling forward in your growth. Does that make sense? Type a 2 in the chat so you understand what I'm talking about. That's super important. Cool? All right, so now I want to see if there are any questions. Let me see. Are there any questions in the Facebook group at all? Nicole? And there isn't, no worries, because I've been kind of chatting.
Yeah, I love this. This is all so profound, like so good, Jenny. We have, let me find it. We've got a lot of comments. Shelly wrote, "This is hitting home for me, Jenny, and my relationship with my son," which is so incredible. Austin wrote, "That's a cool trick, the handedness." And then Malika wrote, "Listening to your body is worth it. Trust your subconscious." Carlene wrote, "So true. We are lucky to have found the sacred space here." And then there are a bunch of twos. So
Perfect.
something I loved, I could not believe how in this really short amount of time you tapped into all of our senses. And it's crazy that as physical human beings, it wasn't until you brought that into this moment that I realized I wasn't even aware of my senses. And it just shows how we can be in this body, in this human experience, and completely unaware of any of our senses, much less all of our senses. So thank you for bringing that back. And I freaking loved the cabbage story. Carlene wrote, "I want to be a cabbage now." I love that.
I love it. It's like, okay, so like Cabbage Patch dolls kind of freaked me out. So not those type of ones, okay? I'm sorry if you love them, but they really freaked me out. Like,
Right.
no. Like, no, anyways. Okay. We'll just be full on cabbages. I if I could, I would make an actual just cabbage. Like, the stuffed animal cabbages, Nicole. Because then we can all see ourselves in that versus quite honestly, for me, as a adult now at 55, I want to play like a child and also play so I'm safe from an adult perspective. Does that make sense? Because that really is truly being whole, right? Because in the past, because I'm a mom, right? And I used to homeschool my kids. Yes, I survived. I'm alive still. We're all kind of sane. And I can facilitate play. My kids played. They're very much of a thriving college student. Straight A, Dean's List, know how to question, know how to learn. They know how to play. Do I know how to play? No. No. Because I was keeping them safe while they played. So I'm going to actually invite you all to play with me right now. What? Yes. I like to do this. I'm going to show you what I do when I play. So normally I put my hair up because, you guys, when you're playing, and you don't have to put your hair up, Nicole, because I got you spotlighted. She's just like, what is she gonna make you do? You can stay seated, but I want you guys, those of you who can stand up, you can stand up with me. And I always wear a crown. I buy these in wholesale and Amazon. And I wear a crown because, and any sex can have this, right? Any orientation you have, you can have this. This is very important. And I'm gonna, because you're in my dance studio. and I didn't want to lose you, so I'm not going to go to my AirPod, but I want you to play. And I wasn't kidding when I said I have 12 cats. I have 12 cats and 2 dogs, so they'll run in and out. Those cats are optional. You don't have to do that. And I'm going to give you a little bit of music. And I do a format called Sharky Belly Dance, folks, and it is geared towards cardio dance using belly dance movement. All right. So I'm not going to make it like a formal class for you, but I am going to start the music and you're going to hear the beats in it. Yeah. Good. So now if you're seated, you can just march your feet. Be careful of your knees under your table. You hear that? Right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left. Can you still hear me? Yeah. Right, left. Like baby, go to BJ's. Right, left, right, left. Yes. Step up. Yes, yes, yes. Arms up, float up to the shoulders. Palms down, come back down. Head up. Down. One more time up. And down. March in place. Look into it. Heel, lift, drop. And a shimmy. So sideways. I'm going to do this. I'm turning sideways. Here. There we go. Like this. I'm moving my knees front to back, and you're letting a little shimmy happen through your body. The body's going to relax just a little too. And let you happen. Good. Just your right leg. Good. Left leg. Right leg. Left leg. Alternating knees. That's your shimmy. Good. Little bounces. Up and down. Shoulder rolls right here. Yes. 4, 3, 2, sway to the right, left. Now I'm going to add on little shoulder shimmies. Everything feels shoulder shimmy front to back. You can just see baby Yoda dancing here. 4, 3, 2, leaning front to back. Because Cole's doing that. Like we're doing a duet, y'all. I got a spotlight. This is fun. 4, 3, 2, sway side to side. And right, front to back. Again, side to side. And front to back. Last time. Good. Now, arms gonna come up. Palms are up. Sweep them together overhead and come back down. One last time. Inhale. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Beautiful. I know, right? I just want to dance along for this. So I want to invite you guys to know there's often opportunities to dance. Some people actually do have traumatic experiences with music, and that's fine, right? Because you can dance to birdsong. You can dance to beach waves. You can dance to the sound of falling water. Whatever gives you peace, because sound waves move water, and your body is mostly water. So if you can even find they have frequencies that are healing for your body, and you can put those on the background so that you're moving and swaying instinctively to it. All right. You're going to go to danceandheal.com, and that is where you can access a full hour of half an hour of the class that I just went over with you, and then half an hour of somatic myofascial release. What does that mean? That is something that will help you do stretching. This is where it's going to be super important for you to do the journaling before and after. All right, that's super important. And then take note of feelings that happen before and after, and maybe even during, if you want to stop. Because it's a recording, you can stop it and make a little note. Oh, doing that stretch with the leg over, I started to get angry, right? You don't always have to know why. You just need to acknowledge it. That's the key. Oftentimes, like what Nicole was saying before, I didn't even remember until you told me to tune into my 5 senses. What happens when we're not present, you all? You're either worried about the past or you're worried about the future. Guess what? You can't do anything about those parts. You can only be here and now. I studied martial arts for many years. So do this with me right now while I explain something to you. So the right hand's gonna wave, palm out. Right hand's gonna go wave, palm out. Yeah. So this is part of a Tai Chi movement. It's a meditation thing. And what I love about movements in Tai Chi and martial arts is that they actually ask you to be very present during the movement. All right. And as you're doing this, you can then do things like asking yourself, do I really, and do a little body turn too. Be careful of your knees if you're standing. You just rotate knees and hips. You can then ask yourself questions. There's like another layer to the journaling part. You can ask yourself questions like, how do I keep working with Nicole and Jenny and Austin and everyone else in this group? How do I do that? Right? And some of us, it might even be as basic as question as, do I want to do that? Do I want to work more? And the answer is yes. You go, oh, I want to do this. Right? And some of us might be like, well, I don't like to do play. Why don't I want to do play? You can ask yourself open-ended questions and then see what feelings bubble up, what thoughts bubble up, what images bubble up, right? Yeah, because sometimes if you want an answer to a question, your body and your subconscious has been answering it and you just haven't been listening. Let me repeat that in case I lost you for a moment there. You have to be present so that when you ask a question, a real question you really want the answer to, your body and subconscious are already answering you. And you have to be ready to hear it. How do I know this is true? When we have things like arthritis or an injury that has become so inflamed we have to go to the doctor, your body had been telling you for a long time. When you felt the pain was when it was screaming. Does that make sense? Super important, okay? We've lost touch with this connection mind-body. We look to other people. When I talk about the outside in, it's saying we have to connect to ourselves outside, and then we go internal. And then this is a loop. We go back and forth and back and forth. Remember the cabbage? I healed the cabbage outer layers of having cancer. And then the deeper layers had to open for me to access all of the stuff that I did not handle before, you guys. And I say that's the same for you. Really. Do you know that back in historical days, like when Asian people first immigrated to the States, do you know what we were called? We were called celestials. We were referred to as celestials. All right. And one of the things that I love, you watch seeing K-dramas. All right. So any of you that like to watch it, my favorites are the ones where the storylines are that these celestial beings up in the heavens come down to the earthly realm to suffer as humans, to then gain merits to ascend to a higher level of being a celestial being. So you watch enough of them, you get it. You're like, whoa, wait a minute, what? They have to be a human and suffer like a human to ascend to another. What? I'm like, whoa. So that's what I bring to your attention. Maybe you're a celestial being like me, and we're in this plane to experience all the things in the cabbage so that we can then ascend to the next level. How's that sit in your body? My heart is bursting that I get to share this with you. Because here's the thing, I think for another part of it though is you got this cabbage experience of this life, right? You can ascend higher if we understand and overcome it. That's the second part of your lifetime here. My Mac agrees. I just got an update. I think that's just the universe saying, Jenny, I think they got the message. So it's about 35 minutes in. I could easily go on for an hour. However, I want you to take a moment right now on your phone, on your writing pad, and freestyle write for about 2 minutes right now. I'm not going to talk. I want you to just write down what we just talked about. All right. And I'm going to give you some Muzaki. And I want you just to take in what I just said to you. Celestial being. What does that mean to you? Does that resonate? And I'm going to play my royalty-free music. And you're going to just write this down for a few minutes, I promise. Here we go. Here's your music. 'Tune into your 5 senses as you're doing it. Pay attention to your breath work. Twenty more seconds. You're going to want to start wrapping it up. Beautiful, beautiful. You can make a note, right? This isn't a one-time thing. You're going to go back to this. This is going to be start of you trying to wrap up 23, going into 24. What is your consciousness going to be at for yourself? Do you want it to be something where you're just kind of drifting through your days? Or do you want it to be a conscious decision into finding what you want to be at the end of 24? Does that make sense? I want you to come back to us at the end of the year and tell us what you achieved in your celestial trial in this 1 year. Because don't forget, like in celestial timelines, right? I think 1 hour was like 2 weeks human life. So if you think about that timeline, right? It feels like we have so much time here. It's maybe a month in celestial time, maybe 2, depending on how much longer we get to live. I'm 55. I plan to be 100. Same, right, Nicole? All right. You too. You can be 100. I want you to be there with us because we have so much to do. More than just our self-growth. What part of the ripple do we want to be? All right. What part of the ripple do you want to be? All right. So any questions in the group at all, Nicole? So I'm going to wrap them up with a little thing before we go.
I love this. I'll read you some of the comments. It's so good. Let me see. Okay, when you had us do the dance movement, I wrote that felt so good. Carlene wrote that felt so good. More, more, more. Shannon wrote, I did this at my work desk just now. I love that. Shelly wrote, I love the idea of dancing to other sounds. I love that too. Like so expansive to know dancing isn't limited to just music. There's so many sounds. I loved your quote, sound waves move water and your body is mostly water. Malika wrote, that's a beautiful exercise. It goes deep. Austin said, sound bowl with water inside is fun to watch. Malika wrote, so exciting to get to know you, Jenny. We share martial arts and dancing. Thrilled. Oh my God, you two totally need to connect because Malika totally is a queen of dancing and martial arts. When you were talking about how our bodies speak to us by the time we go into the doctor, it's been screaming. And so what I wrote in the notes was listen for the whisper. Listen for the whisper. Lindsay wrote, I love this teaching. Thank you, Jenny. So good. So long. When you talk about being a celestial being in a human body, Carlene wrote, that feels right and true in my body. Sean just joined us. Hi, John. I'm so glad you're here. And then Austin wrote, it's nice to move our bodies where we can do so without shame or fear.
Oh, listen. So I wanted to tell you something. Like, so let's be clear, right? Again, I presented the super, super confident person, and I'm not. Like, really? Because, like, I try to be, because here's the important thing, my clients need me to be as present invisible as possible, right? And I was like, oh, well, Nicole's always like so comfortable in her body, and some of the speakers coming after her are all, and I'm like, no, they get my Baby Yoda outfit, because that's who truly I am. You can be like all like moving, like Baby Yoda can be smooth, you know? I want you to know that every body has a birthright to move and be safe in their own bodies. That's a birthright we all have. And I invite you to do that. A year ago, so we're going on November 14th, right? I had massive surgery December 19th, where they did not realize I had a 4 centimeter separation in my abdominals from twin pregnancy. And I had not realized that. And it was 24 plus years. I had menopause, post op. I was not well, first of all, right? And I still had a right, as does anybody else, wherever you are in your life, to feel safe and to move as free as your body and you feel safe to do so. Everybody. You hear me? When I was volunteering at this amazing camp for children, most of them had they were like special needs kids. It was a chance for them to feel and experience what camp was. It was on Martha's Vineyard. It was called Camp Jabberwocky. We had a giant Alice in Wonderland bus, and children who were in wheelchairs, pretty much unable to move from the neck down. We were counselors, and we just took them on with all of their care, anywhere from 2 to 4 weeks, so they could experience what it was like to go to the beach every day. And we would pick them up out of their wheelchairs. Some of them had ventilators, bring all of that with us on the bus. People be waving on at the big, was it green, red? We had 2 different vehicles. It depended on which kid you had that could ride on which bus, or a special van with a wheelchair accessible for them. We managed all of their care. We took on, because they had to like help us keep the cabins clean and just experience what it's like to be a normal kid at camp, going to the beach, playing games, having classes. And so I think it's imperative you understand that this is a right everyone has. And you need to be exercising it. Because here's the thing. Yeah, Nicole's excited. Okay. Here's the thing. Now I'm really gonna wrap up, I promise. I said I was stopped 10 minutes ago, but I got excited. So here's the thing. Here's Jenny's second wave. I'm really emotional about this. I'm gonna say this to you right now. We're all survivors of this global pandemic. A lot of people, their celestial elevation is done. Ours is not. We survived this amazing, amazing event in our lives. Amazing meaning it's going to be in the history books. And our time is always still ticking. So you need, at the very minimum, to be glorifying how wonderful it is to be in your body right now. Every second. All right? Like just complete gratitude. One of the things that I really loved back in 2008-9 was when someone said to me, a professor, she said, people don't realize your body is a sentient being. And I was like, what do you mean by that? Do you guys know that we have, the brain cells in our head? We have some of those same neurons in our heart, in our gut, and they're just starting to find it in other parts of our body. So if you think about that, means separate from here down, there is consciousness. All right. And your body's sole purpose in this life is to fulfill your wishes. Elite athletes tell their bodies, you need to do this so that I can win the gold medal. And the body goes, yes, that makes you happy. I will do that. Even though I may not be able to walk 10 years from now, I'm still going to do it because that's what you want. Right? So, on top of reawakening your awareness of this and then listening when it whispers to you, you want to acknowledge the miracle of life that you are right now. Take a breath. No, seriously, take a breath. Inhale. And then exhale. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Feel this gratitude. Make a date. One more time later on today to feel this gratitude. Go to danceandheal.com. Get my other class. Come back to this post because Nicole's going to put this recording in the Facebook group, and I will add the link to that trauma-informed education class that I delivered in another platform. I will gift that recording to you guys too. Okay? Thank you so much for having me, Nicole.
Wow, Jenny, I am floored. Like that time flew. You covered so much. I got goosebumps so many times, and I love my body, being in my body. And even when you were doing this, and I realized how much I don't live in it. I'm in my head, I'm in the past, I'm in the future. Like I loved how you just brought us back to the moment, and you brought us back in our body. And that's why my body kept getting goosebumps. There's just something so powerful about learning to be in our bodies. And I loved what you wrote or what you said. Let me read some of these quotes. When you said everybody has a birthright to move and be safe in their own bodies. And then my mind was like, wow, when you said you need to be exercising that right. Like, holy schmoly, I think a lot of us say, oh yeah, it's my birthright to this and birthright to that. And then the question is, are you exercising your birthright? Like that was profound. And I love when you said you need to be glorifying how good it is to be in your body right now. Acknowledge the miracle of life you are right now. Like, oh my God, so much wisdom. People are blowing up the chat. They're saying baby Yoda for president, by the way. Someone else said, I love baby Yoda. Let's see. We have love your childlike joy, says Shannon. Austin said, pandemic/body sentient being discussion is super interesting. Regarding those cells, thoughts on those cells regarding chakras. Do you have any thoughts on that, Jenny?
Oh, boo-boo, yes.
Lots of thoughts.
Yeah, we do a lot of chakra alignment because even in, martial arts, there's so much correlation between energies in that. When I'm gonna teach you one other thing. Hold on one second. Oh, yes, thank you for the reminder. I can do this for you. So, you have chakra alignments here, here, one above your head too, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 7 is in your root. Before I perform, I always first everyone rub your hands together. Rub. Feel some heat in your hands. And then as you feel that heat build, I'm gonna give you sideways view, well, forwards view. I will start to separate them and feel the heat building in the hands. If this is new to you, some people it's new, they have to put their hands a little closer. If you're used to doing this, you can bring your hands a little bit further apart and you may start to feel heat building and pulsing in between your hands. And what I do is I use this heat and I bring it up above. I'm gonna give you sideways view, up above my head. And I think about that chakra that's above my head clearing and getting really clean. And then I bring it to the one above my eyes. So you see the distance? I'm not really touching myself, I'm just scraping. I'll bring my hands out here above my throat to the chest, down to the solar plexus. Let me bring the video down, all the way down to the 7th chakra down your root. Then I actually bring it all the way back up. Both hands, I'm just using the other hand to bring up my camera. All the way up. Keep breathing here. The key, you can go back to this recording and I release it up. So my fingers are here like this. Yes. Now when I do this, I'm incorporating breath work and the five senses to clarify. Yeah, you feel the difference, right, Nicole? I do this before I perform. And then why do I do it as a performance? Because when you do Reiki and you're clearing your chakra levels, you're asking to be a channel for what the audience needs. I'm sorry, you're asking to be a channel for what your client needs on the table. I do it because I want to clear myself to be a conduit and a channel for what the audience needs before I perform. Because I have choreographies and sometimes I completely go off my choreographies because the energy from the crowd is that's not what they need. They need something else. And I'm so open to that. It's not about my ego when I perform. There is some ego because you dress up, put on makeup and all that, right? Some of it is really about what can you give back because there's an energy exchange. That's going to relate for everything you do, folks. Dealing with family, going to work, trying to do a new thing. Before you journal, before you do my class, what are you going to do? What are you going to get out of it? What do you need to be aware of that's got to move through you? You can do that. Did I answer the question? I got a little excited about that topic.
That was so freaking good. We have more comments coming in. We have people saying, thank you, Jenny. Amazing, Jenny. Your delivery style is amazing. Thank you for helping me remember how good it feels to dance. Sean wrote, reflexes don't travel to the brain. They just use the spinal cord and ganglion tendrils travel out to all the organs. So there's primitive thought there without the brain. Austin wrote, my hands felt tingling and my body too. Shannon wrote, I actually walked into work and had a Reiki conversation about all this with a patient and colleagues today. It's coming full circle. Yes, dance is life. Yes, thanks, Shaka. My question was answered. So good, Jenny. So rich. I love like so many takeaways, simple things that like our bodies immediately responded to. Thank you for the generosity of your gift to everyone here in this group. That is huge. I know we're coming back up on our time, and I just want to ask Jenny, for you, do you have any last thing you would like to share or feel led? Speaking of reading the room and feeling into the energy, is there anything you feel led to share with this group of people tonight?
Yes, I do. Give yourself grace. You are enough right where you are right now. I'm getting emotional. You're enough. You're more than enough. Okay? You are so enough. I can't even grab a cat. They ran away from the influx of emotions coming out of my body right now. You are enough. Give yourself grace. And then when you're ready, tune into your body and figure out what you can offer. Just do it from a healed place. And it's okay if it's healing. Just heal first. That whole, what is it, the oxygen tank thing on the plane? Do it, put it on yourself first. So then you can help others. You know where to find me, Jenny C. Cohen, any Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. Message me, find me. You can find me here, message me here. Go to the danceandheal.com thing and get that free class. That's most important so you can keep fulfilling anything you started to feel from this work. Keep doing it. You have lifetime access to that course. I will never take that off that platform. Got it? Thank you.
Oh, so good. Someone just wrote, love it. Someone wrote, that means a lot and speaks to me. Grace enough, more than enough. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Jenny. My heart is like pounding with so much fulfillment. That was so fulfilling and meaningful. And what a beautiful, beautiful way to end our day together. Thank you for being such a phenomenal speaker and drawing us in and incorporating all the different senses. I love all the places you're accessible. So yes, anyone, if you resonate with Jenny and you want to have a conversation, you want to see what other resources she has available, please reach out to her on all the socials here in Facebook. She's here to love you, support you, guide you, and exercising your birthright to movement and safety and freedom. Thank you, Jenny. This was absolutely magical.
Thank you.
Have a wonderful night, everyone. And we'll see you. Hold on real quick. I'll see you guys next. Our next session is this Thursday at 10 a.m. Pacific time. So come back for our next session. It's about how to maximize your profit and peace, which we're all about. It's going to be so good. Thank you again, Jenny. Thank you, everyone. Love you all so much. Bye.